Stay tuned for a super yummy and super easy keto-friendly Brussels sprout recipe. Hey guys, I know a lot of you have been patiently waiting for a recipe video, so here it is. Yep, today we're making a Brussels sprouts, and I mean, look at these cute little guys. They look like baby little cabbages. In fact, they have the same kind of flavor as cabbage as well. I used to go to the grocery store a lot of times and see these all the time and just pass them by because really it's hard to think of what you want to do with this. A lot of times people roast them in the oven, with bare minimum spices and flavors, and it still tastes really good. But today we're going to show you a recipe that's spicing it up a little bit. It's got a variety of spices in there that's going to flavor these things up, and it's going to be probably the best Brussels sprouts you have ever eaten. And let me tell you, I am not usually a fan of Brussels sprouts, but I like these Brussels sprouts, so they're good. So today we're using 1 pound of Brussels sprouts, and we've washed them. They're really fresh and nice, but just shaking off all the excess water. And first we're gonna be trimming off the edges and slicing them really thin. So now that we finished slicing them, here they are. We have them in a really big bowl because we're gonna be mixing some spices in it. So here's some of the spices we're using today. We're just gonna mix them up in a little bowl here that we have. We've got 1 tablespoon of coriander powder, 1½ teaspoons of cumin powder. We've got 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. We've got 1/2 teaspoon of dried mango powder. Now, if you don't have this, this actually provides a little bit of tanginess to the recipe, but if you don't have this, you can always squeeze a little bit of lime or lemon juice at the end. We've got 1/2 teaspoon of red chili powder. Now, this is going to be to taste. My red chili powder is super spicy, that's why I only have a little bit, but you can adjust it accordingly. And we've got 1¼ teaspoon of Himalayan salt. Again, you can use regular salt, and of course, this is to taste as well. I like my food a little bit salty, but you can definitely cut down on it and add later if you need to. So what we're going to do is just mix this up into a little spice blend. Make sure it's evenly mixed together and any lumps are broken out. And once it looks nicely incorporated, we're going to sprinkle the spice mixture over our finely sliced Brussels sprouts. Now you want to keep mixing while you're doing this so that it gets coated evenly and you don't have lumps of spices anywhere. Once you got all the spices in there, again toss to evenly coat the Brussels sprouts. And now we're ready to cook these. So we're going to be using a wide flat pan because this has more surface area, and this means that it's going to give us more space for the Brussels sprouts to get crispy, which we like, but any pan will work though. So first we're going to be adding 2 tablespoons of ghee or clarified butter, and to that we're going to be adding 1 tablespoon of butter. Now the ghee is going to have a higher smoking point. That's why we put that in the pan first so that our butter doesn't burn. But the butter does give a really nice flavor to the Brussels sprouts. And once our ghee and butter has heated up, we're adding 1/8 teaspoon of Asofoetida or Hing. And we've got 2 tablespoons of crushed peanuts and 2 tablespoons of sesame seeds. And we're going to roast these until they get lightly brown or the sesame seeds start popping. And our flame is on medium heat. You don't want it too high because you don't want this mixture to burn. So you're going to constantly keep mixing it around so it doesn't burn. And once it turns a golden brown, we're going to add in our Brussels sprouts. And now we're going to continue mixing it.
Make sure all the Brussels sprouts are coated in the oil mixture.
So we're still on medium flame, and finally we're going to cover it and let it cook. And be sure to stir occasionally so it doesn't burn. So it's been about 5 minutes. We're going to continue stirring it so it doesn't burn.
Right now it's getting a nice caramelization, which is perfect. And the cover goes back on. Let it cook further.
So our Brussels sprouts have been cooking for about 10 minutes now, and we stirred them once in between.
And now pretty much they're cooked. See, they're browning nicely and they're tender and cooked. But because we want them a little bit crispy, we're going to give it one more stir and keep the lid off. Spread them out as much as we can. And let them brown a little bit and crispen up just a little bit more. And they'll be ready. So our Brussels sprouts are looking beautiful. They're nicely caramelized and a little bit crispy on the edges. So we switch the stove off, and our final step, and this is absolutely optional, this is Hemp Hearts, and this packs a bunch of protein, especially for vegetarians and vegans. A lot of protein in here, and we're not really supposed to cook these because they kind of lose their nutritional value, but as an optional last step, feel free to sprinkle these over the top and just toss it through. And these are ready to eat. Beautiful.
So there you have it. Our Brussels sprouts are ready, and let's taste them to see how they taste.
Yep. Here's my fork. Mmm.
Wow. I can't even, I already said this, but I'm going to say it again. I don't like Brussels sprouts. But these, these are good.
These are so yummy. I can't tell you. There's so much texture. Usually people associate Brussels sprouts with cabbage, and cabbage tends to be mushy, and you know, it's cabbage. But these have this incredible texture. The combination of the sesame seeds, combination of the crushed peanuts, and the hemp seeds that we added at the very end. All of that gives this really nutty and delicious texture, and you guys are gonna love these. If you're vegan, it's a very simple modification. Instead of using butter and ghee for this recipe, just change it out to avocado oil or possibly coconut oil, and it's just gonna be fabulous either way, and it'll be completely vegan.
So if you enjoyed this recipe video and wanna see more from us, please give us a like, subscribe, hit that bell button so you'll be notified every time we post a new video.
And don't forget to leave a comment, give us suggestions, tell us how you like it. If you try it, we'd love to see what your reaction to this recipe is, because we're pretty sure you're gonna love it.
Yes, and until we upload more recipe videos, you can be following our Instagram, where we can give you some inspiration on what you can be eating.
So thanks so much for watching, and remember, it is easy to keto
if you know how. Bye! So now that we finished